Hey buddy, and welcome to Twin Talk, a video discussion show where twin brothers Chris and Kevin drink and draw while talking about comic books, movies, and all things pop culture. We are your hosts, Chris Hart,
Kevin Hart.
Today we are taking a look back at Jurassic Park.
Stick around to the end of the episode to see our drawing of a T-Rex came out. If you like what you see, subscribe to the channel for more content.
Jurassic Park is a film that came out in 1993, directed by Steven Spielberg. And what can we really say that hasn't already been said, right? Mm-hmm. This thing is a classic. If I was like a teacher, I would show this as like in filmmaking classes. I would show this movie because this movie is so layered. It is so perfect in every way, honestly.
Yeah, it's well written from Michael Crichton's original novel, well directed from Steven Spielberg. We got the composition from freaking John Williams. We got everything fire in here.
Yeah, not only that, but it also like changed cinema forever, right? We got ILM here, obviously ILM
groundbreaking.
ILM and Stan Winston Studios. This is like when they took their name and just catapulted to superstardom in Hollywood because of everything they've done, like with the CGI. This movie changed CGI.
This was a transition from stop motion with Phil Tippett, I forget his name, but basically losing his job to now CGI. This was literally groundbreaking stuff here of them figuring out computers, figuring out this motion graphics, CGI, 3D imagery, and it's a great balance because sometimes we rely too heavily now on modern cinema of CGI. This is a great balance between practical and computer-generated images.
The reason that the new Jurassic movies don't hit as much is because it's not as practical. We got Stan Winston Studios here giving you animatronics that are beautiful, and then even like the T-Rex scene, like it feels so real. Like you can touch it, it's right there because there was literally a giant T-Rex animatronic doing those things. So for that reason, I feel like you can't beat the classics.
Not only that, but even the story is just a well-written story. Every character has an arc between Alan Grant, Dennis Nedry, John Hammond. All these characters are so well-written that it's just everything is just like on all cylinders, cranking it out.
Don't forget about my man. There will be dinosaurs on the Chaos Theory.
Ian Malcolm. Sticking his hand in my water. Jeff Goldblum, the sex god, the sex symbol that he is, playing freaking Ian Malcolm.
There's so many quotable lines in this movie,
my goodness.
Right? Like every character, every line, every action scene, everything is so memorable and iconic that
this is easily top 10 movies.
Yeah, with the new one coming out, Dominion's coming out in June. They're doing a double feature at the AMC theaters. I may have to go see this thing in theaters, honestly, because like we never got to experience that. We were babies, 1 year old when the movie came out, but we destroyed the VHS. We watched this thing over and over again. The toy sets, the marketing, everything, classic stuff. Like Jurassic Park definitely has its place on the mountain of like pop culture history.
And this easily could have been a rated R movie with like the gore factor, the gruesome factor of like
horror.
Movies like RoboCop, Terminator. They could have gone that direction.
Yeah.
But it's got that like even
that
Alien.
Spielbergism.
That Spielbergism of like it's a family movie.
Fun action
all
adventure,
ages action adventure, coming of age, this and that. But it's got so many suspenseful, horrifying moments that it does work like on that level.
I wish Jurassic Park would lean more into the horror because like hearing that T-Rex roar is bone chilling.
It really is. And that's what I feel like a lot of it's shied away from. They just want to give you the dinosaurs,
just
right?
Give it,
Just give like the action. But this movie was like the whole
slow burn almost.
Slow burn, yes. And nothing ever touches the classic.
Which is a technique from Spielberg himself in Jaws, right? You don't want to show too much. You want to like build the suspense of the shark, like. And then in this movie too, like obviously we see these.
They do that with the impact tremors of the water.
But like you build it up with like the little things, the sounds, that scariness, the tension. But then you get the grandiose dinosaurs doing their thing, and it's like I couldn't imagine being in a theater at this time in 1993. I would have been exactly like Ellie Sattler.
Which again, kudos to the actors for looking at nothing and giving us that performance.
Giving us a performance of a
and
lifetime.
then at the same time, kudos to the the animators and the artists on this movie that are giving us these things that again, unprecedented territory, unexplored territory, like and just groundbreaking stuff here. Like just everything.
You know,
everything
it's a great watch.
Oh,
Netflix's the movies that
made
They
us.
have a Jurassic Park episode that goes into depth, like in depth of everything.
Highly
the problems,
recommend that.
mistakes. The fact that the movie got even made is crazy, and the fact that it's so iconic and timeless as it is just like it's a masterpiece in my opinion. Honestly,
really is.
And what kid doesn't go through a dinosaur phase, right? I know, like me personally, I remember like renting so many books from the library about these different dinosaurs, watching these movies, playing with action figures and stuff. Like this is like a little boy's dream come to life, but with like you said, like tension, suspense, action, adventure. There's so many like great actors in this movie that are like standout characters. Like you said, we got like Dennis Nedry, Alan Grant, Ian Malcolm. You know, even Samuel L. Jackson. I don't know his character's name, but he's just iconic with that cigarette hanging out. Hold on to your butts. I say that every time I drive in my car and like my little brother's in the back. I always say, hold on to your butts.
This dude's got the cigarette. It's hanging down to his neck. The ash is hitting his toes. this is the ass end of the cigarette, and he's still milking this thing. Which, by the way, at the end of the movie, we got a practical effect of Samuel L. Jackson's arm eaten alive by a velociraptor.
Yeah.
We couldn't tell you what the character was unless you said Mr. Arnold, because this thing's painted orange. I don't know. It's definitely not an African American character.
I love that scene. That's such a scary scene to me when the arm falls off and then the velociraptor's like in that like blacked out room with her and stuff.
Push the red lever.
I want to get another Jack and Gin. Do you want another Jack and Gin?
Speaking of Dennis freaking Nedry,
Dodson. We got Dodson.
We got Newman playing, hot off Seinfeld in the '90s, playing the villainous character of the movie. And great lines, by the way. I even said that as a rewatch, like when he's like, "Don't get cheap on me, Dodson." That's what Hammond did, and you immediately understand this villain's motives. It's like he wants more. He's greedy. Enough is not enough. Like, and it's just like really well developed story. He's great. The dude's like on a freaking cardiac arrest here. He's heading to the vending machine for the 13th time. I can't believe it. Dude's out of breath.
Just stealing embryos. But like you said too about the character arcs too, like. Everybody could have been a cartoon, right? Which I feel like most of Hollywood's big blockbuster projects now have just become franchises with cartoon characters in them. Mm-hmm. This treated them like real people. You get like the paleontologists, right? They don't believe it's possible. They go to the island to test it. Then they get like delighted by seeing that these creatures are real, and then horrified once like the realities of them come to fruition. And then you got Hammond, who wants to make all this money on this park. He gets humbled, right, because his park fails. He should have listened to the right people. And then you got the lawyer,
a little too grandiose.
Yeah, and then you got the lawyer who's like ready to shut it down. And then once he sees money's involved, he's like, "Let's do this."
His eyes light up.
Yeah, and then meets his untimely demise on a toilet bowl. But everything about these characters is so great. There's so many like iconic scenes. Which let's get into that. What is your favorite scene of this movie?
There's so many.
There's so many.
Like you could say like, what's my favorite dinosaur? But my favorite's got to be that introduction to the T-Rex when they're. Everything's going wrong. That's the perfect storm. Literally, the hurricane's hitting the island, and you got this T-Rex just like coming on to them with the Jeeps. Which again, the merchandising.
The Jeeps are great.
The different Jeeps, the different trucks, the different water bottles, the different the gelatin and the freaking like everything is like screams '90s, which I love about the amusement parks of today with Universal Studios and everything. I feel like I'm there as an adult. But that scene with the introduction of the T-Rex is so horrifying once it comes down through the glass and they're just screaming and you got the light and everything oh my goodness,
storm and everything's going wrong. It is such a tense scene. It's so great. I would say that's probably my favorite too, but as a runner-up, since you said that, we got to give more than that. The velociraptor scene in the kitchen, right?
Oh my god,
so suspenseful. Like you think there's so many times in that scene, even rewatching it,
you think
what's
they're
about
done.
to happen.
Yeah,
you think they're done for. You're like, okay, like this door ain't gonna close. This is gonna happen. He's gonna trip here. They're gonna hear this. The fact that the velociraptor could open the door was horrifying.
Absolutely,
they really are clever girls.
Masterfully directed.
Yeah, everything about this movie is just perfect. But the two standout scenes to me is, like you said, the T-Rex and the velociraptors, and that's like. Worth the admission in itself. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
What is your favorite dinosaur, by the way?
My favorite dinosaur? Pterodactyl.
Yeah. Mine's a T-Rex. So That's why I chose to draw it. I wanted to draw that scene too, where everything's going to hell and stuff.
Even just go back to the arcs, Alan Grant, the main character of the entire film, like we see that he hates children from the beginning. He's got a little brother Colt in the beginning that he's just completely annoyed with. He's like, "Yo, the Velociraptor will cut you up by the belly. It'll do this, that."
That's not even scary.
This kid's got to get humbled, so he teaches him a whole new lesson. But by the end, we see even with the whole "he left us" line, right? He's like, but that's not what I'm going to do. That was a changing moment in the movie. He was a protector, provider of these kids that wasn't even his. So just everything, like if you really break down this movie, every scene, every word of dialogue, every action sequence is masterfully written, directed, everything, composed, everything is just 100% fire.
So well thought out, yeah. And even as kid actors, right? Usually kid actors are so freaking annoying.
I mean, there were some moments where
There's
it's like,
some moments that,
shut the hell up. Don't move.
But like that's part of the Spielberg charm, right? Like you bring these kids along because they're the target audience of this amusement park. So you use them as the vessel. You want to test them out and see. I mean, it's a little irresponsible bringing your grandchildren to Dinosaur Island, but
his daughter was in the middle of a divorce, though. He was kind of like, they were imposed on.
You know, you go through the journey with the kids, and I thought they did a good job in this. And that scene too when they're eating like the desserts and stuff.
I was just going to say they made me so.
All
hungry.
I wanted was like all that stuff they were eating. Like every time, like sometimes like I said, this movie has like resonated in my real life. Sometimes when I'm eating like cereal, I'll just be like.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. When we go to Universal Orlando, I'm just like,
yeah.
just completely just like I'm
slobbing it out.
Give me the water bottle. Give me the Chilean sea bass that John Hammond was eating. Give me that.
And I'm actually super excited because now they're like we see in the trailers for the new one, Dominion, they're bringing back this old cast. So. That's going to be welcome to see because the Jurassic Park franchise has gone. This has its ups and downs. We're going to review each movie. I'm excited to talk about these movies though because it's been a while since I rewatched a few of them. This movie I watch like at least like twice a year. So, final score, it's a 10. No shock there. This movie's getting a 10 from me.
Really?
What do you
Perfect score. Okay.
Perfect score. Yeah.
I mean, nothing's perfect in this world, so I was going 9.5. So that's pretty close to perfect.
Yeah, I'm going
you
10. All
you got a Nick Fury cameo and Samuel Jackson.
Which, by the way, Samuel L. Jackson looked ancient in '93. And he actually looks younger now.
He looks younger 20 years later, yeah. 9.5 out of 10. Nothing's perfect, so that's why I can't give it a 10 out of 10, but I mean, there's some things that this is pretty close to perfect.
Yeah, it's just perfect. I don't even know what you're taking a half a point away from. It's crazy.
There's some scenes like when they're eating Jello and they're like Hammond's like eating the ice cream, everything's melting. That slows it down a little bit. But
yeah, but even the dialogue in those scenes are so important.
Meaningful, yeah.
That's why this movie's a 10. Everything is so well thought out.
True.
I know you brought it to a 9.5, but I think life will find a way to a 10.
What did you guys think about Jurassic Park? Let us know in the comments below. Stay tuned, by the way, guys. We're going to be reviewing every Jurassic Park movie leading up to the Dominion. Anyways, that about wraps up today's episode of Twin Talk. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment below to join the discussion, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content. We'll see you next time. Peace!